Hey guys, good morning. It's Cali. How's everyone doing today? I wanted to do a follow-up video this morning to the tarot video that I did yesterday, and I'll put a link below if anyone's interested in checking that out. I just wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I use in my daily life and my practice as a witch. And also, in thinking about this video and gathering things together, I think about, it goes far back from the time I was a kid. I've always been interested in fortune telling and, the gypsy fortune teller booth at, Coney Island always held a fascination for me. And, I read my fortune cookies and, I think a lot of us do. You read your horoscope. You want to know what the future holds, right? In a way, It's funny. One of my friends here on YouTube, Allie from Dingley Delification, sent me a pocket letter recently, and in it she enclosed this fortune teller fish. And I used to have one of these as a kid, and I was delighted to get it. And it basically is this little plastic fish, and you put it on your hand, and how he reacts is, he tells your fortune. So he's flat, and then you see what he's going to do. If he's going to do anything, because he's camera shy. He's starting to move. Obviously this has to do with the heat of your hand. So I'm not going to waste too much time with you guys here. But on the back, based on what he does, moving head, jealousy, moving tail, indifference, moving head and tail, and love, curling sides, fickle, turns over, false, motionless, dead one, and curls up entirely, passionate. So it looks like curling sides to me. What do you guys think? Anyway, so I also loved Magic 8 balls as a kid, the black ball that you shake and there's a window and it pops up and, looks good or not now, those kinds of things. So even as an adult, I used to keep one at work on my desk, and I used to joke, that major decisions were left up to the Magic 8 ball. So, okay, so I shared that with you, and then I do, I've been dabbling in everything. I think I told you that I've actively been practicing as a witch and known I've been a witch since about 1989, but definitely feel that I was born a witch. And things like this have fascinated me since, like I said, since I was a kid. And definitely since I was a teenager, I've kind of actively been researching things and learning about stuff. So something that I'm interested in, but I don't know a lot about, is palmistry. And yesterday I shared with you in my tarot video a couple of my idiot guides. Well, I do have an idiot guide to palmistry, and it's something that I don't know a lot about, and I'm interested in learning further. I can't recommend these idiot guides enough. They are really, obviously, we're not idiots, but it's broken down in very simplistic ways, so very easy to learn. So that's something. And then also, I have used and made runes at various times in my life, and I have 2 sets right now currently, and then I have, of basic Furhark runes, if you will, and there are many different types, and if you're interested, do some research on your runes, R-U-N-E-S. I only have 2 books on runes. One is a rune reader, and that's just a little pamphlet, The Ancient Runes and How to Use Them by Rena Shesso. And then I have this little giant encyclopedia of runes. And you guys know how much I love my books, but obviously there is so much information online that if you're interested in any of this stuff, Google it. So, and then I have a set that I purchased, and I keep these on I told you yesterday I have an altar in my living room for my tarot. I keep all my divination things with the exception of my Ouija board. I keep my Ouija board on my altar itself. But these are just stone runes. And one of the projects that I have next on my list is to make another set of my own hand-painted stone runes. So, and you can use these as you would tarot cards. You can lay them out in, say a Celtic cross drawing, or, lay 3 past, present, and future, or you can ask yes or no questions and pull them. And then, again, I don't have a deep knowledge of these, and, it's not embedded in my brain, their meaning. So I use a reference book, and nothing is hard and fast. Obviously, everything in life is choice, but it's kind of cool to see if things are right on or not for you. So I have these stone runes, and then I did make a set with some of my girlfriends, Jonathan and Jamie. One time we made runes out of this applesauce cinnamon dough. And for the life of me, I can't remember the recipe, but it was like equal parts applesauce. Okay, so I apologize. My phone has really been acting up lately. It's time for an upgrade because it's telling me I have no storage space and I basically have nothing on my phone. But anyway, I was talking about my homemade runes that I made with my friends, and we made an applesauce dough out of equal parts of ground cinnamon and applesauce. So it was like a cup of cinnamon and a cup of applesauce. But don't quote me on that because I'm not positive about those measurements. So anyway, we made the dough and rolled it out, and I cut out, and this was way before, these are probably 15 years old. So this was way before I had any clay cutters or anything like that. And we just kind of guesstimated shapes, and I rolled them out, and I took a toothpick and I made the shapes of the runes in them, and then went over them with, I believe I used a Sharpie to go over the indentations. Whoa, sorry about that. And then I lacquered them. And now as I'm opening up my bag here to show these to you guys, I almost wish I didn't lacquer them because they're sticking together. And it could be, obviously, it's raining out today and things like that, so there's a lot of humidity in the air. But so obviously any tools that you make or use that you've handcrafted yourself are going to have more of your energy in them and give you, I think, more accurate readings. But you can empower and, charge store-bought objects just as well. And then another set of runes that I made, and I shared with you yesterday that I was a student of the, excuse me while I take a sip. I was a student for about 2 years at Sacred Mists, an online Wiccan college. And I loved it there. I did not finish there. I didn't get my degree, but I learned a lot, and I made a lot of very nice friends there. And anyway, one of the courses that I took there, I shared with you yesterday. I took the Hidden Path and the Well-Worn Path, Raven Gramassi's Oracle Study. But another course that I took there is based on a book by Susan Shepard called A Witch's Runes, and how to make and use your own magic stones. And I took this course and I really, really enjoyed it. And I made my own set of stones. I went out and I harvested my rocks and I painted them with acrylics, and they came out pretty good, and I will show you some of them. And obviously I used the book, same way. You can lay these out in a pattern reading, or you can do a past, present, future, or just yes and no questions, or how's my day gonna go kind of thing. So I painted them, and then there's an eye. I lacquered them. There's a crossroads. It's supposed to indicate movement, water, air, the Trinity. So anyway, I totally recommend the book, and I enjoyed the whole process of, again, finding the stones, painting the stones, using the stones, you know, putting my energy into them. And it's fun, and you learn a lot. So there is that. And then I also have, that I keep in this little pouch here, and I don't use this a lot, honestly, folks, but I have it. And one thing that I would like to make for it is an answer board. I might be doing, I was thinking of making my own talking board too, you know, like my own Ouija. Ooh, it got knotted from being in the bag here. I apologize. I'll get that undone when I'm done. But it's a pendulum with a pentacle. And basically you assign a direction, like left, you know, sideways is no, and, you know, circular is yes, or however you want to do it. And then you can ask a question, and, you know, you're supposed to hold it, if it weren't knotted, in your hand and let it hang straight and let the energy of what's around and the spirits around determine the direction that the pendulum is going to swing. And I can't encourage you enough to do your own further research on this. Clearly, I am no expert. Here we go. So, but isn't that pretty? So that's my pendulum. And I think, again, maybe I'll get a piece of wood, like a thin piece, a slice of wood that's already fallen from a tree that's already fallen. And use a wood burning tool or something and write yes or no or maybe, or, you know, and crescent moon and stars and a sun. Doesn't that sound like a good idea for a project? So I may do that. And then last but certainly not least is the good old Ouija. And this is one of the original. Here's the planchette. And I don't know if there's anybody who doesn't know, but, you know, you place this on a flat surface and everybody who's involved, you know, puts their fingertips on the planchette and you ask a question of the spirits, and, you know, this is supposed to spell out the answer, right? Well, when I was a child, I used to play around with these, and this is not a toy. Let me just say that contacting the spirits is no joke, and not for the unknowledgeable. If you don't know what you're doing, you may open yourself up to negative energy that you may have a very hard time getting rid of. So unless you know what you're doing, I would highly suggest doing your research and finding a teacher, or, you know, treading very, very carefully. I never use a Ouija anymore unless I'm within the confines of a magic circle. And I always make sure to, you know, totally clear and cleanse the room and ask the spirits to go back from whence they came with harm to none, you know, whenever I'm done, and things like that. So this is probably my, I don't know, 4th or 5th Ouija board that I've ever owned. This actual one I did pick up at the auction last year. And it came with it was a you know, stack of board games, and this was on top of the board games, and I think I paid $1 for the stack, and when I went to get the games, this was no longer in the stack, and I was like, whoa, where's the Ouija board? That's the only reason I bid. And one of the owner's kids had it in the back. He wanted it, but he graciously gave it back to me. So I think my last one my son might have. But anyway, these are quite expensive now. If you go to buy them, the original Parker Brothers ones, they do have an updated version that's slightly different than this. But the original ones go for $100 now. things like that. So keep your eye out at, garage sales, thrift stores, auctions. Again, cleanse anything that you get secondhand, or even if you get it new, thoroughly prior to use, and always use for the greater good of all with harm to none. Just good practice. So that is that. And then one thing that I do not have that I also have thought of making, and there's some cool information online about how to do that, is a scrying mirror. I do not have one. I know it's possible to scry in a bowl of water, scry with a mirror, but I would actually like a, kind of a framed hanging scrying. They're black, mirror to use. And they're just tools. I feel that these are all tools to help you focus, to help you tune in to the higher planes and the greater energies that surround us and spirit. And, they're little conduits for that, for me. So they help me to concentrate, to meditate, and to open up to that energy. So one of my favorite tools to use, and boy, she's heavy, and I'm going to pick her up, but this is Esmeralda. This is my crystal ball, and she feels like she weighs about 30 pounds. I have a stand for her, and I know that I should probably keep her under wraps to avoid opening my, being a conduit for other possible negative energies here. And I realize that she absorbs all kinds of energies, but I clear her at the full moon. I love her so much, and my grandchildren are really, really drawn to this as well. So that's that. And I also, and I'm very blessed to have this, and I realize that. And I have some, I didn't realize now till I just started talking about it, but I also have a smaller glass crystal ball that I've had since I was about 17 years old. And then I just have, this is one of my favorite, I do work with crystals, and I love crystals, and again, I use them for meditation mainly. Also, I'll empower and charge them for good energy, I'll give them to my children, my grandchildren, myself. I'll carry things for grounding, for centering, for luck, for safety, for protection, for love. But this is one of my favorites. It's an amethyst point that was gifted to me from a dear friend of mine, Sean. And I love this so much. And I think about all of the crystals that have come into my life throughout the years and gone, and that I've gifted or that have been taken from me. And all, it is what it is, and all things are the way they should be. But I do have a yearning sometimes for a few. I used to have large quartz, crystals with points that were just huge. And anyway, so I keep a small bowl of crystals here, miscellaneous ones, all different, to just use, again, to help me focus for whatever various reasons. So, again, my grandkids are fascinated with these, and I use them as grandma's pretty rocks, right? Use these as a learning tool as well. And I have some reference books that I use. And I would like to get a hold of a nice crystal Bible. That's on my wish list. But for right now, I do have a book called Crystal Enlightenment by Katrina Raphael. The Transforming Properties of Crystals and Healing Stones, which is pretty comprehensive. And again, there's so much online, you guys, but reference books especially, I do like to have hard copies in my hand. I want to be able to browse through them, look at them. But here's another one that's really good. Healing Crystals, The Illustrated Directory of Healing Crystals by Cassandra Eason. And this is another excellent book. A Comprehensive Guide to 150 Crystals and Gemstones. So I use that as well. And I believe that that is all I have to share with you guys today. So if you guys have any questions, leave them below. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you do. I make videos very frequently on a wide range of topics. So I would love it if you would subscribe, like this video if you like it. Have a beautiful day. Blessed be. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.